Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Society of Main Characters. As always, we've got the five gentlemen here in front of you just to talk about some Daredevil. This week it's episode 4. So far, probably the best episode of the series, but before we get into that, let's get to the panel. First and foremost, we got our man Nolan right there. And then as we go down the line here, we got Keegan. Down below, we got Nick. And last but most certainly not least, we got ourselves David down in there. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Doing great. How about
Pretty
yourself?
good.
Oh, we're just living dreams out here, ready to talk some Daredevil.
It's a good night.
So, to kick things off, let's talk about the fact that they pretty much spoiled Punisher showing up in like the actual clip part of the episode. That was wild, dude. We literally get off talking about that, and I'm looking at it. I'd literally shoot to the group chat. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Or I think I texted Keegan actually. I'm like, "Dude, did you see the clip art? This is insane."
Good. I mean, I feel like the end of episode 3, though, we knew he was going to be in this episode.
Fair.
Like, as the way that ended, he had to make some kind of appearance. So, at least we got it where it makes sense. It wasn't too big a spoiler.
No, sure, but maybe okay. So, but like, also hear me out here is like, you probably could have kept him out for like another episode while he was like doing the detective thing or whatever of like he's like trying to find him and he couldn't find him or something. Like
yeah.
Like it just kind of felt like he was like, oh, I know exactly where he's at. Like.
Well, I think that was also supposed to show that Matt can just find people no matter what kind of thing. So I think it was also trying to highlight his ability for that instead of like, because it wasn't even detective work really. It was just his senses.
Right. Well, I think that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like he was like this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
He basically bloodhounded him down.
Right. I smell brooding and alcohol and anger. It must be the Punisher.
It's got to be the Punisher. Absolutely.
I got it. Like I get it. It doesn't totally
I smell white spray paint.
Believability, but I thought it was really funny that they kept like, yeah, cops couldn't find bullets or anything, and then Matt found it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and how long had this thing was like
like no water, nothing washed away.
Yeah, like the blind guy found it right there. He's like, oh, what's in? Oh, look at that.
At the same time, he just beat the NYPD, charge. I'm sure somebody was not really trying super hard to find that evidence.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that. Yeah, they were like, "Oh no, he's dead. Dang it!"
I was gonna say,
yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
Exactly
I'm sure there were some in the NYPD who were in on it. Actually.
Oh yeah, because it definitely was. It was definitely somebody from the NYPD. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely.
Do you think it's the main cop that we keep seeing him have the
tattoo?
Well, the one that we met again in this episode that he kind of has that beef going on with. Do you think it's him?
Well, no, he checked his heartbeat like by holding his hand up to it and like felt the whole thing go on. And he's like, "You're telling the truth." Type deal. So.
Yeah, but people are good.
How's that go, Grayson? How does that go, Grayson?
Let me physically assault you and then be like, "You're telling the truth."
I'm gonna do that next time I see Keegan or somebody. I'm just gonna hold my
look,
my
ma'am.
hand
I'm just trying to see if you're telling the truth or not. All right.
You're telling the truth.
Well, no, because it's one of those ones that like Matt Murdock historically has a little lie detector or whatever when he does listen to people's heartbeats. And yeah, that was exactly it. Like he, was, oh, do you have anything to do with it? And he was, so he kind of cleared him of it or whatever, right? But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I want to see what the bigger plot is, I guess.
Like how the pieces all come together.
Right. Like just because it is like if that specific cop, right? Because like let's be real here, we'll essentially call him like a co-main character at this point. Like what his pieces like with that, because it is essentially he is a co-main character.
Yeah, because I have to believe that at some point the cops thought they were doing the right thing by what they're doing, and I think it just got more corrupt as time went on. That they became kind of the worst versions of vigilante justice type, is what I'm kind of getting.
Well, they are trying to be the Punisher, so
yeah, exactly. Like they're on board with the Punisher, but for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
Look, we're not tone deaf. We're just doing the Punisher's work.
Well, because it was also one of those things like because even Frank says that he's like, oh, a bunch of fanboys. Like he's, what I mean, he's like all upset about it or whatever, kind of like to a degree of like they don't do what I do. You know what I mean? They have no reason to do what I do, but.
Can we say this may be some of the best acting I've ever seen out of John Bernthal?
I don't know. Have you ever watched Fury?
I would honestly go as far as to say this is like some of the best acting in these Marvel shows.
He
I
did
mean, to-
fantastic for that like monologue that he had. Like it
I was-
was
oh,
the
I was
to
Punisher.
that
definitely-
point, this was
100%.
probably some of the most on-character writing Marvel's ever produced. Like this was without a doubt to
Oh,
a
yeah.
T, both characters clashing together on their ideals.
Right.
And
Oh, 1000%.
like when he honestly, my jaw kind of dropped a little bit when he was like, "You came to me for permission, Red. That's the only reason you're here." And I was like, "Damn, he ain't wrong. That's pretty factual."
Well, it was
Well,
almost like he was the lawyer and he was like breaking him down the whole time, like shooting him things down. And he's like, "We all know why you came here."
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
just
he's like,
trying to get
don't
it
hide
okay."
from it. You know what you want.
Yeah.
Like, and if anything, I think Matt either wanted that or for the Punisher to go, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of it. So that Matt
I
didn't
also-
feel guilty. That's something
also
that
No,
happened.
if I'm being honest, I think he was spot on though. Like it was exactly that. He goes, you know why you're here. Like don't play games with me. Like you want my permission to be like it's okay to do this. You know what I mean? Like to do what I do or to do it how I do it, I guess, right? Like like he said, I smell it on you. He's like, I hear it in your voice. I smell it. I know what you want. Just
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to
be about
those points, like with John Barenthal, like originally being like on the fence about even showing up for this series, you can definitely tell that they figured out how to use the Punisher at the right way, because the Punisher is definitely there to not only be just the morally just black version of everything, because everything he does is not right and is not the right proper pursuit of justice by means of a civilized society.
I mean, like it may be justice, but it's not the correct way of doing it.
right.
Exactly.
I was gonna say
It's chaotic justice.
The reason that I'm bringing that up is
Punisher
that
and the-
with him breaking down just the quote unquote moral fixations of Daredevil, being religious and being dedicated to a moral code, I know we've had this dance with both of these characters for the entire series, but I feel like we're finally getting down to the nitty gritty of where they're both seeing each other as two sides of the same coin. Matt's just clinging on to some thin veil of morality because he's religious, but he's just the same as the Punisher is, whether he wants to admit that or not.
Well,
Plus,
that was
even
the
if you're
whole
looking
point
at
of
it
the scene, I think,
religiously.
realistically.
Like,
I'm not even saying religiously. It's just how
well,
some
I know,
people
but I'm
try
saying
to.
even with those morals and everything, some parts of the Old Testament and such, they get dark as hell.
It does.
Like-
Judgmental.
They really do.
When God is a vengeful God, yeah,
He's not.
whole-
He is not a
whole
nice vengeful
cities-
god.
Whole
Yeah.
cities fall.
Well,
So
look, Fire and Brimstone's red too, right?
I've seen. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I've seen the Pharaoh and I. No,
yeah,
whatever.
there's- yeah, none of
the-
those plagues in
The
Egypt. were
Prince of
very
Egypt,
fun.
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
The Prince
Look,
and
I-
it's a totally different movie.
The Pharaoh and I.
Pharaohs, princes. What? Okay, you get what I'm saying. Okay, like you got
What
the,
was that movie? What was that movie?
Wait, was
Romeo
Pharaoh
and
a
Juliet.
explanation like the King and I, or what?
the King and I don't know. Ben Kingsley was the Pharaoh. Who knows? Shaka Khan.
Like,
Damn,
I'm
you're
kind of
right.
curious. I'm kind of curious I'm sure they'll reveal it later on. Like we'll find out. I wonder what the script was that John wasn't going to come back. Like I wonder what they were going to do with the Punisher before
already
they
have
rewrote
features, right?
everything.
Like we've talked about that before. Like even episode 1, it was like they had something down and all this.
Yeah,
Like,
everything got redone to bring in the
They
old
got
characters
redone.
and make it more of a continuation as opposed to a new thing. So I wonder how they used the Punisher in that John was like, I didn't feel like that was the Punisher, so I didn't want to come back. I wonder what avenue they took before they came to their senses. Because honestly, I think this is perfect where he's going.
yeah,
They're gonna have him sing, David. They're gonna have a
Yeah,
whole
they were
musical
probably-
note.
John would have been all over that. Okay.
John Bernthal singing in the rain.
He'd do it.
absolutely.
We'll
They
see.
were gonna-
I think they had the two draft scenario where it's draft A is if Deadpool doesn't work out, and then draft B is where Deadpool does, and then we can kind of dip our toes in a little bit more mature themes and territory here, to where they were able to deal with government and police corruption and a lot of stuff like that. Whereas I'm sure they probably had their Marvel version of both of these characters when both of these characters are not Marvel material, so to speak.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, traditionally not your typical Marvel,
Well, they were definitely already setting up Kingpin because he's been in a couple of things at this point in the Marvel.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I think he was pretty set. But yeah, bringing in Daredevil full force because we barely saw him in Spider-Man. That was more of a cameo just to be like he exists here.
He exists in it,
So
right. He
Yeah.
caught a break.
And it felt like it could have been one of those fan servicey, because we had a lot of fan service type of casting. So at that point, you're like, they might recast him at some point. So
I
I'm
didn't
glad
feel
they
that.
didn't.
I think
It's
the
like-
fact that they put him in that, it was telling us definitively that Charlie Cox was Matt Murdock.
Right.
Well,
Well,
that
so
I
was
agree.
that
gonna say,
was even then that was the fan casting for Daredevil was Charlie
For the
Cox
longest
after
time-
after Netflix.
He had to keep it going. There's no way that. I think everybody would have been very upset if they would have recast Daredevil.
Oh,
Yeah.
1000%. Because
Yeah.
he does such a great job. But the thing is like I guess for the longest time it was like it was a one-way street, right?
Yeah.
So like it's like you could see TV show characters in the movies, but you would never see Thor or whoever.
Right.
like, in the-
Until Marvel Studios took over the TV branch, because for a while it was two separate branches in the
Right.
studio.
Right.
Somebody
Mhm.
else was in charge of TV that did Agents of Shield and on Inhumans and all that stuff. It was once Kevin Feige was put in charge of everything, because apparently the guy that was in charge of the TV didn't like Kevin Feige, so he
Oh,
didn't
wow.
want to go along with a lot
Yeah,
of the
they
stuff
didn't
that
get
Feige
along.
wanted to. And
Right.
on the other side, Feige was like, "Hey, I don't want to do too much in the TV show that it makes it where if you don't watch that show, you won't understand the movies."
Right.
Which was smart at that point because it wasn't evolved enough yet that I think, now they have a little more leeway to do TV shows that feed into the movies because people are so entrenched in Marvel, they're going to watch it wherever.
They're
As
gonna
long
cut-
as it's good, they're going to watch it. So I get it. So yeah, it's definitely a different vibe than it was, but I'm glad that it's worked out to bring Daredevil finally into the fold of the actual MCU.
the only
like,
other person
I
would love to
hope
bring
he's in
over-
the next Spider-Man.
the only other person I would love to bring over from the Netflix stuff is Michael Coulter. Like
Mike Coulter, he did a good job.
Dude,
I don't mind if Jessica Jones comes over, but I don't know how much is left for her to do.
realistically,
Just
and that's what I mean.
character,
Like,
she's just kind of there. I mean, her whole thing with Purple Man was kind of
Purple
her
Man.
big arc.
right.
So I don't
Well, and
know.
I feel like we'll get them for more like Secret Wars, but I don't know how much longer after that.
I think we might see them in Secret Wars and then get rid of them.
Sure, and that's
I mean,
fine. I'm just saying,
I hate
like, as
saying
far
that,
as
but
like characters
yeah.
that come over, like, I wouldn't mind Luke Cage to show up or whatever for an episode and like punch some stuff or whatever, with Daredevil, and like that would be cool. But like realistically, like Iron Fist, they misplayed that one so hard that yeah, that was a letdown. And then
It's
like
I only
Jessica
watched-
Jones was like
I
it was a
kind of
different
feel
type of show,
like I almost feel like the Defender series, like all the Netflix stuff, they made the same issue as DC, where I think they tried to do too much too fast.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they tried to build it up without having a true foundation. Because the only reason Marvel succeeded in all this is because they took the time to really build out each hero to somebody you liked before throwing them together. Before they made us care about them.
well, at least
Whereas
Daredevil
stuff-
did.
Daredevil definitely did as the first one. They did a really good. They set it up. We loved him. We loved the characters with him, and that's why everybody had such an outrage to bring back Foggy and Karen for this series because we loved those characters.
Because we like the characters, absolutely.
Yeah. But then as it went on, I feel like they're just like, whoa, Daredevil was successful. Let's throw these other ones and just started churning them out. And it was like, okay, they're still good, but calm down. And they just, as it went on, I feel like the quality kind of lessened with those. Punisher was pretty good though. I think they did a
Punisher
good
was.
job once they brought him in. And then after that, like the other
Well-
three are just kind of eh.
Well, realistically,
Well, I think just Netflix
good
just
ones
started
were-
getting too greedy and wanted just to bring in as much as they could to keep the cash train rolling, keep
And they
everything
probably
going.
had a limited
Well,
time
CW.
for the contracts that they had to get stuff done in a certain amount of time before like re-upping or something.
Well,
So
yeah.
they were like, let's take advantage of it. And just when they got to Iron Fist, they had just lost everything. I feel like Iron Fist was just there to get them to Defenders.
Oh, 100%.
They were like,
just,
we won our team up series. We just got to get this guy out there to justify him in it. So just get him out there.
I only watched season 1 of Iron Fist because
only
it
one
was
season.
There was only one
There was-
season, and they.
I was just about to say, like, that was the thing is you could
I
tell
thought there
the
was
good
more.
shows.
No,
from-
they never did a season 2. He was in Defenders. That was where
Mhm.
his story kept going with the others.
Right. Well, they had the only good shows from the Netflix ones got multiple seasons. So Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Punisher like were the only.
Jessica Jones got a season 2.
Did it?
Yeah. she
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
I didn't even watch it. Like that's how.
So
under
did
the radar
Iron
that
Fist.
was.
Iron Fist got a season 2.
Iron Fist
Look
got
at-
one season, dude.
I just Googled it.
Then it got
It
yeah.
says
If you,
2 seasons.
Well, then Google's wrong. That's what can I tell you.
oh my god.
But just I wanted to talk about like what you guys were talking
It
about.
definitely
with
got
bringing
it
those
definitely
characters.
got 2 seasons.
What?
It got
But to kind of talk about what you guys were talking about with bringing in like those characters like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I think there is still a place for them in the Marvel, extended universe. I think it's just definitely going to be more you're writing as a buddy cop in somebody else's story. So like,
I like
yeah.
for a fact, if they bring back Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I want it to be like Heroes for Hire.
that'd be
Oh,
sick.
I want it. Yeah, I
100%.
want it to be both of them together, like it's a team up, like you said, and you can touch on stuff from both of their worlds, but don't have it focus on just one. Have it be both of them together, and then Jessica Jones can be kind of a side character in a couple of different projects and stuff. She doesn't need her own series anymore.
No, and that's where we bring in Blade too. He comes in with Heroes for Hire.
Right.
I
Well, I
mean,
mean, it's like
It could happen.
they could use the shows to like to their benefit, like, you know, because they're going to have Hawkeye in New York. They're going to have all of these characters in New York. Start having like rumblings of like somebody saying, you hear about this, you know, new like people seeing vampires around New York or something like that, and like start introducing like Blade like in the background somewhere, or some dude in a black trench coat as the series progresses, or like as an idea of like how to introduce characters, or have like, you know, rumblings of Dracula or something like that.
Personally, I would love there to be a Spider-Man movie where Morbius is the main bad guy and he teams
That would
up
be
with
sick.
Blade.
Dude,
Morbius and Blade together, or
Iron Fist definitely got a season 2. I just checked Disney Plus as well. There's
That's-
10 episodes in season 2.
Nick, I just
all
said
right, you
that.
said here first. Nick's hallucinating, but
Yes, there's a Nick.
I'm
there
getting
was a season
I'm
2.
getting fucking gaslit in this bullshit. This is
No,
not
you're
cool.
not. I just told you you're correct.
I'm getting gaslit by Grayson. He's telling me I'm crazy and I'm hallucinating.
I mean, you might be,
Look at
but
that.
at least
calm
on
down.
this front,
You're acting a little crazy, Nick. All right.
Nick, just because your favorite,
Grayson? Grayson?
favorite was Iron Fist, okay? You don't need to.
Nick,
rub
I
it in.
believe you. I'm just busting your chops, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Eon
god.
Fister. Yeah. The no, but the either way, I don't really, like I said, I never really watched any of the second seasons of the lesser good ones. That's why I was like, oh, well, there's only one season, because I didn't really watch the second season.
And I mean, Defenders was pretty good, but let's be honest, that more than Defenders, it felt more like Daredevil and Friends.
Yes.
Like it was
Yeah.
definitely a Daredevil story that the others were pushed into to like help him out, but it was him and Elektra was the main story there. So
It was Daredevil season 2.5.
Right.
basically, yeah.
Which, do you think Elektra's going to show up in the show at all?
I think
Not
I don't
this
think she'll
season.
be in this season.
Season 2, maybe.
I think
You don't
no.
think she might show?
If she's in it, I think it would be a tease at the end of season 2.
Are they gonna? Do you think they keep the same actress?
I mean, they've kept everybody else the same. I don't see why change it unless the actress doesn't want to come back.
Or unless
Fair.
they're going to be like multiverse. But they're already filming season 2, so I don't think that's going to be the case.
That's what I'm saying. I think because season 2 was originally just the back half of the original season 1, and after they shifted everything, they rewrote season 2. But if they're playing into the whole Netflix and all that, like I don't think anything with Bullseye's coming up until season 2.
No, you don't think he's gonna
Maybe
get out?
at the
Because he
end
wasn't
of this
originally-
season.
He wasn't.
I
in
think
the
that he's
beginning
going to
of
get
season.
broken out at the end of the season.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say cliffhanger.
But-
Yeah,
But the
Okay,
actual
we'll try.
doing something with him, we're not going to see him, I don't think, till season 2, because that's when a lot of the newer stuff that they wrote shows up as season 2. So I think that's when we'll see a lot more of the callbacks and characters, whereas this was kind of the salvaged parts of season 1. The original plan, they kind of still melded what they could into this to keep it, and because you can tell when they're refilming some of this stuff, like with the original Vanessa actor and things like that, like you can tell that they're different. But
Yeah, the quality is good, but it's just not quite at
it's
the
just a
same
little
level.
It's
off. Like,
different.
it's not
Yeah.
enough. It's not enough to bother you, but if you're looking for it, it's not hard to see.
Yeah, if you knew, like we knew,
Yeah.
then you could definitely tell.
right.
Yeah.
So, and my thing is, because I've been seeing like everybody for some reason, not everybody. I don't think they're like hating necessarily, but I've just seen like a lot of like negative like reviews or like negative things around the show, and I'm like, I don't know why. It just
They
I
must
don't
be
know.
watching a different show. I haven't really had much to complain about at all.
Right. Well, they're just
I
like
know, right?
the ratings are down, or this isn't like what Disney was hoping
Yeah,
for.
I
as
know
far as-
the views aren't what they were looking for, but I'm pretty sure it just got renewed for season 3, so I don't think Disney really cares at this point.
Well, I
mean,
think, in all honesty, it's what happens with every series that like you go back to, right? Like Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, whatever. A
Right.
lot of people like want to have quote unquote the feeling, the magic, whatever brought back, and when it's not exactly the way they remember, they throw a hissy fit because it's not my Daredevil, and you're like, dude, it's literally the exact same atmosphere, tone, and everything else.
It's the same
Take a
actors.
chill pill.
It's like to be
and if
fair,
anything, there's more F-bombs. Like it's more mature.
and
if I'm
to be
being
honest,
honest.
if Disney wanted
Yeah.
to, they could have recast everybody and said, fuck the Netflix show. We're not going to have anything to do with that. This is our Daredevil. And people would have watched it the same. So
Probably,
people
yeah.
just need to be grateful that they decided to keep that cast going and keep the story alive that we remembered, because they easily could have reset it and just been like, that was a different universe. This is this one. And we would have been like, okay.
David, be grateful when I can complain? No.
I know.
Well,
anybody
I think
watch the
I think
newest
some of it too is just the recent Marvel movies have kind of maybe made it a little bit colder of a reception. But I think once word of mouth, and I think you're seeing that more and more people are starting to talk about it. So I think it'll be fine come the finale. Like I think more people will be watching it than watch the premiere. So I think it'll be fine. I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I
But
don't
they
think it's
gotta
any
get
danger
also-
of going anywhere.
I was gonna say there could also be the possibility that people are waiting until all the episodes are out to just binge
Watch
everything.
it. Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that.
I know I like doing that.
Gentlemen, so far great conversation, but to kind of bring it back to the episode a little bit, Keegan,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to kick it
No.
off with you because you got the background
No.
of it.
No.
What did you guys think of the
No.
intro to Hush? Or, not Hush, Muse.
Muse.
Yeah.
Well, was he not the sickly guy that was looking for help at the book signing? Out of costume?
Ooh.
Plus,
I don't
we've seen
know.
his
I've never
artwork.
actually read any of the Daredevil comics, but
Yeah, plus we've seen his artwork throughout the series so far. And then, boom. I don't think we'll get a resolution to his arc until season 2. I think it's going to be kind of dripped in here and there, and then maybe something big at the end of this.
I
That's gonna
don't
make
know.
it
I
bigger for it.
actually, did you happen to see the mid-season trailer that they put out today?
No.
Who puts a
Yeah.
mid-season creeper out? Like what?
Because this is episode 4 coming out today, so it's mid-season because 8 episodes for season 1. They
Right.
put out a trailer,
this is
and there
this
was
is
some
se-
parts of it, and in one of them, you literally see like it's down that looks like it's in that like subway sewer area that Muse is in, and he's like up against a ladder, and you only see like his feet, like he's being strangled up. Like I don't know if he's going to be a big bad. He might be taken care of in the next episode or 2.
I don't know. I've heard some different things about him and how
Or
they're
they may
setting
have
him
their
up.
first conflict and it doesn't get resolved. Like Matt
Yeah.
may let him live and he comes back as like a bigger threat, something like that. I don't know.
Well, are
But
we
we
sure it's
also-
not Adam? Because the scene with Fisk at the end looks very similar to.
Oh
where...
no, it's not Adam. It's wearing like the white special
white-
like shoe kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely the Muse costume. And we do see a scene as well with the Punisher like in full gear with like guns shooting somebody. So he's definitely going to be like Punisher at some point in the season.
Grayson.
Stop speaking such dirty words on these programs, David. Good Lord.
Right.
These people hot and bothered.
My thing is, how did he even come up with that costume? His outfit, costume, whatever, is just very like
It's crazy looking.
it's very crazy looking. Like
They
it's
did a
very,
great
like,
job of making it look like the comic though.
that
Mhm.
right. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's like who comes up with this like costume like that? It looks very Halloweeny to me. Like I don't know. It's creepypasta ish.
It looks like a creepier version of the Spot from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
kind of. I was thinking more like it reminds me of
Like Deadpool mixed with Spot.
No, Doctor Who.
It doesn't look anything. Who from Doctor Who?
David
Um,
Tennant?
Not the Doctor. No, one of the aliens.
Which one?
You're talking about the Ood?
It does
Doesn't
not
face
look.
dude?
No, the Ood. Yeah, the Ood looks like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I was like the Ood looked like Cthulhu. No,
Yeah, they
there's-
hold their brains.
There's like another one where it is like there's just eyes, but everything's flat and
You're talking
Are you
about
talking Cybermen? Or are you
no?
talking?
Are you
No, I
talking
think-
about Cassandra, where she was just the skin? was,
no,
like,
I think they're
flat?
the moisturize me, David.
Yeah.
Moisturize me. No,
That's a different stream.
that's a different.
Yeah, that was my OnlyFans. That was my OnlyFans stream. That you
different
related
channel
to.
for sure. No, I think it was the numbers.
The
The
silence.
silence.
The silence.
The silence.
It does kind of look like this. I see with just
It
the
looks-
eyes, and it's like, yeah, I could
because
see
there's
that.
no mouth there. Like that's what it looks like to me. It looks like the silence. Anyway, I'm glad we arrived there together at the same time.
That's what I do best.
Hey, all right. But yes, so to me, like that's what it looks like, and the silence to me were hella creepy. Like watching those.
Dude, the silence were some of the
episodes.
creepiest. I wish they came back in more episodes.
There was such a great like villain. So,
Yeah.
but not to get super off topic, that's what it reminds me of, is that with just like the extra like blood coming out of the eyes or
God,
whatever.
you know what? Very kind of sidetrack here, but Keegan, you were asking earlier about if we were going to do whatever TV show. What was the show you suggested
Andor,
yesterday?
season 2.
Yeah, no. We should do the next season of Doctor Who. What are we doing?
I've not watched any of.
You cannot pay me enough to watch the next season of Doctor Who.
Why?
Isn't it a new Doctor? Didn't like the one who was
He's
playing
already
it quit?
he's already had a season doing it.
They're shelving the series after this Doctor. BBC
No, they're
is
not.
putting it. Yes, they are. They
No,
have
they're
said,
not. They've already
"It's
said
maybe
said
time
that's
to give it a break." Yeah. What?
No.
I don't
Who are they
know.
bringing back, David? Who's going to be the Doctor? Nobody wants the Doctor right now.
It's ruined.
think-
Nolan.
It's
Nolan's going to be the Doctor.
I wouldn't even want to be the Doctor right now. And like that would be the biggest acting gig in my life as of this moment. Like, and I wouldn't even take that. I wouldn't even touch it with a pole that reaches across the Atlantic.
I'll take it. Whoever's watching, I'll take it.
All right. So if you were casting the
BBC
next
right now is like
Doctor-
dialing Nick.
Get this young
Hello!
in the show right now.
I was gonna say, hold on. All right, Nick, give it to us. Let's hear it.
All right.
Let's hear the Doctor's
what's my,
voice.
what,
Yeah,
what's,
yeah,
my,
yeah,
Like
accent,
Nicholas
yeah.
Bergman.
what's my motivation? I'm British. Hello, governor.
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Hello, Governor. My blue
Hello.
box here travels
I
through
love beans
time.
and toast.
He said bottle of water.
I
I love
beans and
bottled
toast for
water.
breakfast.
Bottle of water.
Just a bit of banter, isn't it?
Guys, I got some bad news. Whatever Nick just did is very close to crossing over into hate crime. So we got
No, it's Cockney.
And then also, don't you know? I'm the Doctor.
I like how Grayson's doctor is just mentally challenged.
No. just
Yeah,
a
how is that? How is mine hate crime and that's not?
Look,
Grayson-
are you
Grayson
telling me that
sounds
my
like,
microcaine sounds a little
Is
mentally
Michael Caine
deficient?
sound? If I'm being honest, it sounds like a deaf Cockney. If I'm.
What do you mean?
What are you doing?
You want to Yeah, we got it.
Master Wayne. Some people just want to watch the world burn, Master Wayne.
I just want you guys to know I'm not editing any of this out.
I want you to leave it in, David.
Leave it in there. Absolutely.
You're just gonna see the spike
Clip
of
it.
viewers go up right there.
Right, because they came to see the good version of Michael Caine as well.
Just make it the first
God,
short
even
for the
if I'm
society.
Jesus.
Yeah, just make it a short and then be like vote on who has the best accent and then just put snippets of everybody's in there.
All right. So for the rest of this episode, we all have to talk in a British accent. So we agreed.
No, I'm
quite
not
right.
gonna
I
do
can do
that.
that.
All right. Fantastic. Just Kagan, just because you can't do it,
I was going to say,
Okay.
I don't think that Keegan can do it, is why he doesn't want to do it.
I think he's just so entrenched in his Americanism because he likes Billy the Kid,
I mean,
or as we
look
call
at the
him,
way he's
Billy the Lad.
look at the way he's dressed. See, he's
Oh.
wearing a very American hat,
I
and
mean,
very American polo.
It's very
Very
Ze
American.
Evkaristo,
fashion
Ze
sense.
Evkaristo, no patibile to canis.
If I'm being honest, he kind of looks like a
Is that
banana.
Gypsy?
Honestly, he does
He
look
kinda-
like a banana.
He
like.
kind of does look like a banana. Yes,
Keegan the Banana. That's his new nickname here.
I'm
a
The
banana,
banana man.
a banana with a hat. Yes.
Thoroughly
Banana
curious.
Man. I like it. I like
I
it.
I was actually gonna look for. I have some more like Europe looking clothes and
European.
styles.
European.
Some more,
Thoroughly Christian.
some more Europe-looking clothes.
Yeah, I was gonna put it on. I have my Ferrari stuff. Just put that on
Right.
with the little
Your
Where
Italian
is
Ferrari.
this?
flag.
Oh,
Where
Ferrari.
is your
Oh,
monkey?
that's cute.
I have
Oh, quite right,
Uh,
quite right.
soccer jerseys from like Germany.
Oh,
Uh, It's called football.
You look like
It's not
Curious
soccer.
George's zookeeper. Yeah.
You
He
fancy
does.
a
He
bit of
looks
foot,
like-
yeah.
He looks like a man who'd walk around with a monkey. You're quite right.
With the monkey, he says.
That's right. That's right. Keegan and the
With a
monkey. I'd
curious, with a
Hey,
curious
I'd
little
watch
monkey.
that show. If there was a show called Keegan and the Monkey, I'd watch it.
Oh yeah, watch the Keegan and the monkey. Yeah.
That's
I'd-
right.
I'd watch at least one season. I'll have to get past the writing of it.
I think it'd be very appealing. like a
It's
banana.
And
always
ladies and
good
gentlemen,
because he's
that's
like
the
a
program
banana
for the
day.
And that is Daredevil episode 4. Come back next week for an all new
Thank you.
episode.
Very much. Next week we talk episode 5. and we will be happy to see you there.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
We would be quite pleased if you could make it to our next review of the next episode, eh?
Right there, we just need to cut in some very nice classical music and have the tags come in as we exit. Very nice. Very proper.
Please enjoy this
Please.
classical music.
Of course. Pip pip cheerio.
If you don't have your finger sandwiches and some tea, you are in the wrong place.
Honestly, you could pause it here and go get them, and then come back and enjoy it with the music.
Oh, quite right, quite right.
Come back. Right. Yes, my good man. Yes, you were right. But the no, like I really did like John Bernthal's his breakdown. His monologue was fantastic, though. To like bring it all the way back to how we got off topic here. Fantastic.
Honestly, I feel like that's the best acting he's done as the Punisher.
Probably.
Like
My
it
my
had the
favorite-
most emotion,
my-
and like
Even
it
more
was
so
a good
than that.
it was a good comeback.
Even
My
more so than
favorite
that,
moment.
I like it because of all the things he was saying is exactly true.
My
And,
favorite
like-
moment from that little interaction was when he was like, you hear his voice just like I hear my little boy's voice.
Just like
Like that.
get him all.
Heartstrings for both characters.
Dude, when he says, what did Foggy get? That was
Yeah,
just
dude.
tears.
Oh yeah. He got life. Yeah, and what did Foggy get, huh? Did he get life? Yeah.
Well,
like,
speaking of Foggy,
like,
do
damn.
you think he comes back? And
Foggy?
how would that affect Matt going forward?
well,
I
they
think
said
we've already
that apparently
talked
he's supposed
about
to come back in the second season.
But we don't
Well,
know
y-
if it's flashbacks or if he's actually back.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it's very heavily. I know it's like his character and everything why he quit, but it just feels like they keep name dropping and building up more and more of an importance to have something happen.
Okay, so my take would be.
What
it
if
would be
he's
cool if
in
he
the
came back.
costume? What if he's in that costume when Daredevil kills him?
So he just happens to be really good at art now.
You just said you
Right.
thought that was the sickly guy at the book signing.
Yeah, but
earlier.
what if he sets it up? What if trailers are made to be deceptive. Doesn't mean it's
Obviously,
actually him.
especially from Marvel. But no, like no, if anything, like Keegan, I feel like it'll be the like you said, like it's like, oh, what does it do to him kind of thing. Like, if anything, it would be a like bring it back to like permission kind of thing or whatever. As like Foggy would be like, I get it now. After being shot, I would prefer to not get shot again. So can you please like do your job essentially?
Even more so, let's say, for example, let's say that Foggy died that night, and then they were able to like revive him after we see him like his heart stop and everything.
Mhm.
He was revived, but Matt, nobody else was told about it, and somebody like Vanessa or Kingpin got a hold of him. What if he's being held captive the same place as Adam?
Mm.
And after being shot, literally killed, brought back, and then held and tortured would be enough for him to be like, no, Matt, you need to do whatever it takes to bring this guy down. Now that I've seen what he does, like, I get it now what you're doing, and you are by far the lesser of two evils, that it's going to take this level of, justice to make things right.
Sometimes you got to get your hands dirty to make things clean,
Right. Because otherwise, I mean, and if that's how they go about it to get Foggy on his side, I get it, because as staunchly against it as he was in the other series, it wouldn't make sense for him suddenly to be like, no, it's cool, Matt, have fun.
I want him to record a line of him saying that exact phrase exactly like that.
No, honestly,
man, it's fine.
I think what's more interesting is what's going to happen to bring Karen back into things, and how is she? Because she also had a lot going on with the Punisher in that series. If if she's back on the scene with him there and all that, so I think season 2 is going to have a lot more ramifications from the previous series, I think, than what we're getting in this season. Since this is kind of the cobbled together, salvaging what they could of their original idea.
Yeah, if they keep the writer's room intact in the transition to season 2, I think this show has
Which
nowhere
I
to
think
go.
they've already filmed
But,
a lot of it, so
True, but
yeah.
Right.
I mean, we know how season 2s can go. Obviously, we talked about, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. They can either be great or they can be, but yeah, with everything that's gone on this season, after having to pull a U-turn on basically a mega yacht to kind of get everything fixed up and kind of, actually good, this has been way better than I would have expected it to be. This is not like this scene alone was like, I'm in full tilt, chips in. I'm riding this horse all the way to town.
I mean, compare it to our previous season 4 of Monster Blood.
I
Good
can't
lord.
wait to see the Black Goo monsters just be controlling Kingpin. It's gonna be great.
You guys like elevating my blood pressure, don't you?
Did you
I see
did you
the vein
not
just
watch
going.
Nolan? Did you not watch the mid-season trailer? That's exactly what's coming.
Nolan, just simmer down. Simmer down.
I didn't. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
take it easy.
hey,
Was there
nice
monster
little
blood in the
Gambit shit there.
Season trailer?
Nice little Gambit shit. What? Did you become a fan after Channing Tatum portrayed him on screen? Huh? Nice little
Look,
Gambit
Nolan,
shit.
it's just a bit of banter.
It's just a bit of cheeky banter.
It's just a bit of cheeky.
No, the one complaint that I have, right, and I don't even know if it's really a complaint. It's more of just me because I like watching Marvel things for like, the reason that Marvel and comic books are cool is because people punch each other and stuff. There hasn't been a lot of punching each other so far. I would really like to see more.
I think the second half of the season will make up for that because it looks like he's getting back in the suit in this episode. I've heard we do see him back as Daredevil in this
Dude,
episode.
I really hope so because
Well-
that's everything else is fantastic, right? The whole Punisher coming back, dialogue, the whole show so far fantastic. If it was like a courtroom type drama thing, but like I came here to watch Matt Murdock. I
Beat
came
the
here to
shit
watch
out
a
of
blind, I came here to watch a blind man whoop some ass. Like realistically,
Well, I mean, come on, dude. That ending, speaking of just all of that, the ending definitely has me hyped just to see where this is all going. Him breaking out the mace, just whipping the shit out of
That was such a
himself on
good
rooftop.
camera angle too, where it comes right at the screen.
100%.
Well, and I like
I
the
was-
comparison between him and Fisk, as one's like rising up and now Fisk is descending down.
I also thought
Yeah.
it was so funny that Fisk is literally eating like this super nice steak dinner and everything, just like looking
In
at
a
his prisoner.
dungeon. Yeah.
This is a nice dungeon.
yeah, he
It's
just
very
keeps his thing
obvious.
I mentioned it to David and Keegan last night when we were talking about Electric State, but I was super happy. I had a grin on my face when the episode ended because I was like, I was right. We're not seeing Daredevil in costume that episode. We're not gonna see it. I was like, we're gonna go at least one more episode without seeing him in costume.
Which is
I was
fine.
happy to be right.
I don't mind the slow build anticipation. As long as it happens and it's not for just like the very end of the last episode, I'm okay with it.
As long as there's a
That
reason
was-
to it.
That was my biggest gripe with season 1 of Daredevil from Netflix was that you didn't see him in the Daredevil costume until the end.
To
of
be
season
fair,
1.
that's a lot of superhero things of their origin stories that they usually have like a streets, costume or like homemade thing before the
Oh, yeah.
villain costume in the first like movie episodes, whatever. So I gave that a little more leeway, but I know what you
we
mean.
went through 3 seasons with him wearing just the black turtleneck. Essentially, he was arching it up.
No. He got it at the end of the first season.
He got his
Yeah.
he got his titular
'cause
red
season 2 and
costume at
3
the end
he
of the
was-
first season.
Well, see, I
Sorry.
mean, I really
It's
didn't
been
mind it
10
that
years,
much.
my
I mean,
brain
it
is a
did
little-
drag on way too much, but I felt like it was a good enough build up to kind of keep you invested because I didn't want to just give you the money shot of here's Daredevil, red suit. Now you guys can either
One-
stay or you can. They
I
made
will
you
say-
stay,
100%.
involved through the whole season to get into season 2. So
The nice
100%.
upgraded
I'm not
suit, though,
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy seeing him in the suit once it actually finally came. I thought it was like Grayson just said. It was a decent build up to that moment where it actually felt like a good
Yeah,
payoff.
because then in She-Hulk we even got the yellow suit.
They gave him the OG yellow.
Not gonna
which
lie,
we
I
did get
did-
to see reappear in this one a little bit. Which
I
was
like
pretty-
that they at least
pretty sick.
acknowledged it. Like, hey, it
Right.
still exists. He has it. He's probably not going to use it in this, but at least it's there.
Right.
It
Yeah, it was
happened.
like just a nod, like a hat tip.
I
which is all we need.
did not mind seeing the ketchup. I did not mind seeing ketchup and mustard in She-Hulk. Actually, I thought it looked
No.
pretty decent in She-Hulk.
I don't think anybody was upset about it. I'm just saying that we've gotten to see at least 2 of the outfits now. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
The only thing I'm missing is the white one, right? Does he have a white one as well?
I think everybody has a white one at some point, like a variant.
Yeah.
Like I know Spider-Man has like the Future Foundation one that the Fantastic Four give him at one point. That's like all white with like electric blue and stuff.
That which looks super sick sometimes.
Oh,
if
it's
I'm
totally
right.
does.
Like,
I hope we
there's-
eventually get that.
I was like, because there's a lot of costumes that I wish that I'd like to see on people, and it would be just that.
Yeah,
that-
like in live action, they'd look amazing. If they do them right, they're gonna look really good.
Well, that's the thing is like, because it's crazy to me, like about like the costumes, like just how much more of like a budget and like how much more they, I guess like how much more Marvel like cares about their stuff is like look at the difference between the Deadpool suit from 2 to 3, like
Oh, huge. moving
when-
from Fox to
Yeah.
Disney. Yeah.
when he's like, God, it smells like a new car in here. I was like, that's because you got a brand new car. Like that's
Probably the cost of that suit.
yeah, no shit. Like you were in a Honda Civic. Now you're driving a Ferrari. Like it was, I was like, good God, the first time seeing it come out, and then I was like, oh man, like I thought the old suit looked pretty good, but
Yeah.
this shit right here, like,
Nolan, you're sounding like the tailor right now. I'm going to be honest with you.
look, you know what? He's an absolute predator, but damn,
man, does he know his fabrics?
he knows his fabrics. Absolute. Like I was dying that whole scene or whatever, just between the ass slaps and the crotch grabs with the squeak. Ah, amazing. However, that suit, like I said, that Marvel suit just 10 times better than the Fox one.
It's
Well,
slayed.
speaking of suits,
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
speaking of suits, because of the Secret Wars just being like the entire arc that we're about to do, if Tom Holland's Spider-Man does not at least get the black suit after Secret Wars, I might be a little mad about it.
When you say black suit, are we talking
I
symbiote?
I
Or-
100% think he's gonna get it. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see that for most of the Spider-Man like Battle World movie with him just in a black. Like I don't even want it to be Venom yet. I want it to just be black suit Spider-Man for like a couple movies before it becomes like the whole Venom thing.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, I just want it
I
to
want
be
to see future.
because at
I wanna
first,
see
it
Future
wasn't even
Foundation.
meant to be anything evil. It was just, hey, Spider-Man's in a black suit. And then they were like, well, he's iconic in the red. We got to change it up. They're like, okay, the suit was evil.
You know who
I
did that?
like the suit.
Todd McFarlane,
Todd
of
McFarlane.
Spawn fame.
Of Spawn. Oh,
Now-
what is colors are Spawn? Oh,
I also wouldn't be upset if at some point, just for the throwback, I would love to see Tom Holland do the little Tobey Maguire dance from
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Just out of yeah.
That'd be
Even-
fun.
You're like,
I don't even
"This is
care the
Peter?"
content.
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so
Speaking
bad
of-
that it's good.
Even if it's just him dancing
It's-
with like Star-Lord at some
aged.
point or something, just for fun.
It's aged
Just a
like
little-
fine wine.
Ugh.
I mean, when
It
video
is-
it
games
has
are making
aged
it
like fine
purchasable
wine.
emotes, you know you've made it into the annals of history.
Yeah, you know you did good, but yeah, it's so bad that it's good, guys. Just
Speaking of suits, real quick, I would love. I mean, I doubt they're gonna do this ever, but I would love a little like joke about Daredevil accidentally mismatching the suits.
Oh, like because you can't see the
I think
colors.
that. Yes,
I mean,
because he's blind. I think
realistically,
that'd be
yes,
a
you can't see the colors.
hilarious. That'd be a hilarious joke in my
rocking
opinion.
a red top with yellow pants. Like, what's going on there, buddy?
It really is
Red
ketchup
top,
and
yellow
mustard.
pants, maybe black torso. You know.
Like Foggy comes
Hilarious.
back, plays the print. Like, did you get anybody here see Ray, the Ray Charles movie?
Yeah. mhm.
Forever
When he
ago.
has like those little numbers on the sides to tell what the colors are, just Foggy
mess-
swaps
yeah.
us around in those suits, and he's like, "Foggy."
adds an extra dot. Yeah.
There we go. Yes, that's what I want to
Also-
see. I thought that'd be a funny little joke. to
Hearing
do.
Ray makes me think of Dewey Cox. Get out of here, Dewey. You don't want no part of this.
It's called marijuana, and it makes you feel really relaxed.
No, my
you don't
Dewey,
want
no
none of
part.
this.
You don't
I
want
think-
none of this, Dewey.
I think I do want some of that. All right, here you go.
You never paid for drugs once, do we?
Not once.
Not once. But I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes, and because I'm probably actually gonna hop off here, get some food, and watch the next episode. But Lord help me if punches aren't thrown in this episode, because like I really they really missed an opportunity, in my opinion, that him and Frank should have thrown down just a little bit. Like
I don't think it was the right time.
I think that's gonna happen later this season for sure.
well, this is what I'm saying. Like hear me out here, right? So not a big fight, obviously. Like let's not get crazy. We're not getting over the top, okay? Because everybody loved the last one that they had. Great, sure. This one is one of those ones that like it would have been cool to some degree to have them.
Well, I don't want to know what you just tried to mime out there, buddy.
These are my Italian hands.
It looked like you were doing like some nipple twisting
I
or
was just like,
something. I
I'm
don't know.
noticing Nolan talking with his hands a lot, and then I saw Keegan like kind of.
What are you doing?
similar with his hands.
Look, you gotta look, Nick. You gotta give the people a sandwich. Okay?
The
That's how it works.
gabagool.
Yo, Baba Gadoosh.
Give them a sandwich.
Damn it,
So-
Nolan! You're giving Nick another hate crime reason. Stop it.
I know, right?
Don't open that door.
But
Listen,
when
I'm
he's
just
like,
quoting Family Guy.
when he says is like, when they get in the little tiff or whatever about like saying his name or something like that, like, yeah, I really wish they would have kind of like thrown down just a little bit more instead of just the one hit and then him being like, sorry, like,
Maybe a few punches here and there.
like, and then like kind of have them both be like, all right, what are we doing? Like, what did you want? Obviously, you didn't want to come down here and fight me. You know what I mean? And then kind of
I don't know. I could see at the end of the season it coming to a head with a clashing of their ideals, where Punisher's about to basically kill the corrupted cop that's been doing this or whatnot, and Daredevil is stopping him and saving that guy's life and saying we need to do it the right way, kind of thing, and that causing them to fight each other.
I could see that. That would be pretty cool too. But I don't know. I was just thinking like it would have been nice to have like a tiny little fight scene between them or something, like nothing crazy or over the top, but just definitely some punches thrown for sure versus him just essentially tapping him on the lips one time. And then being
but I think that would have undermined
his lips.
I think it would have undermined the whole monologue and the passion and anger behind that.
I think, in all honesty, Dave, to your point, that the actual monologue made up for the lack of a fight. And I think even with how the story went, Matt knew that the Punisher wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. He knew it wasn't him. He just wanted to be like, hey, dude, like, for real, was this you or not? And, he was
basically covering his bases kind of thing.
Yeah. So for real, no cap. Okay, was this you? No cap.
Bussin'? Not for real?
No, this shit bussin' for real.
And just like that,
after saying that.
Yeah, like
straight bussin'.
These fries are absolutely, positively bussin'.
Well, and that was our episode for Goosebumps The Vanishing. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Here's all four of your egg rolls.
All of your egg rolls. Bro, that sounds like you're stealing my damn egg rolls.
They're all there.
What? No.
Isn't there a comic storyline where like the Punisher is about to take a shot on somebody and the Daredevil like on the same roof as him and he's just kind of having him wrestle with morality right then and there?
Probably.
I think this happened a couple times.
I think there's a comic line for almost every storyline you can imagine at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. By now, anyways. They've been doing it for a while.
True.
I liked the ending because it kind of showed, like, they had the whole little conversation in the diner, right? Where they're talking to each other and being like, well, if you do vigilante stuff, well, if you do Kingpin stuff, like the little, like, show off. I just think that was
it's the duality of man and that they're inevitable for who they are.
Exactly. And I think this illustrates exactly that when you get to see Matt on the roof and he's like, well, it's 3 a.m. I got nothing else to do. I can't sleep. Let's go up top and play with the old hook knife or the old rope knife or whatever. And of course, Kingpin's like, let's just go eat dinner in front of a guy I've got in a prison cell downstairs, like in my basement. I think that's how he lured him down there.
The very last thing I wanna say before we sign off here. Did anybody else find it funny when Matt was talking about getting that guy parole and he went and talked to that woman and it's like, oh, another woman who wants to bone Matt Murdock?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. Look, ladies love blind dudes, all right?
They were I guess you can honestly say that they're not in it just for your looks, right?
I was about to say a line off of that, but I'm glad I didn't because David definitely would have called me out for that.
It's just the classic case of LLBG,
I just think it's really funny that like all these women he meets, they're like, oh, we love you, Matt. Okay, I'm gonna let you get away with it, you little scamp, but you better call me.
Nick looks confused. Ladies love blind guys. LLBG.
I'm not confused.
Especially
I'm not confused.
You looked very good. Your eyebrows said, I'm confused.
No, I'm just no.
But yeah, no, you're exactly right though, David. It's like, just everybody wants a piece of Matt, I guess.
I think it's so funny that it's just like, okay, sure.
Well, it's one of those things. It's not like Charlie Cox isn't like a handsome dude,
No, yeah, he's a great guy.
Like it would be different if he looked like Mickey Rourke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, if he looked like me.
As somebody who has met Charlie Cox several times, that dude, especially with his British accent, dude is charming as hell.
Oh, I bet so.
Quite right.
Yeah.
You know what? Because he does so
Likewise,
good,
yes.
like of a like Daredevil, that I forget that he's English all the time.
I know he does such a great job of it, but I was actually a fan of him ever since Stardust. He's the main
Dude,
guy in
Stardust
that,
is a banger.
and that movie is so good.
Yeah.
Like
Never
he
saw that one.
kills
I'll
it.
check it out.
Nick highly.
No.
It's probably one of the best fantasy movies out there. It was so good.
That's
It's
one
got
of the
Charlie Cox in
underrated
it.
ones
It's
that I
got
don't
Robert
think
De
I've
Niro
seen.
in it. It's got Henry Cavill in it. Pop-
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got.
Is
You're
it?
gonna
I
go-
think Susan Sarandon. I think that's her, right? That plays the witch. Is that
No,
her?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's
Michelle
Michelle
Pfeiffer, I
Pfeiffer.
think,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Now I gotta go figure out where I can watch
And
Stardust.
then what's his name? Mark Strong is one of the
Is one of the
Love Mark
brothers.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Mark Strong in that movie, that convinced me that he should have been the next Severus Snape.
You think Mark
100%.
Strong should have been Snape?
Oh,
Absolutely.
if watch him in this,
Yeah.
if somebody told me that's Snape, 100%, I would like.
You
He's got the
believe it?
long black hair. He's just like a treacherous. Like it's so good.
And maybe it's just me, right? Because like for some reason, like I do this with like two people, like Isla Fisher and Amy Adams are like the same person to me.
Both gorgeous.
Pretty
Right.
close.
They are, but again, like same person to me. I do that with Stanley Tucci and Mark Strong at the same time.
I could see it.
They
No,
look alike, dude.
Yeah.
Right. Like
like
if you put
told me
Stanley
they were,
Tucci
if
and
you
Mark
told me
Strong
they were
next to each
brothers,
other, and you kind
I
of,
believe you.
you know,
100%.
I believe
dude.
they're related. Yeah.
you would think they're at least brothers. Like it's not
Yeah.
like they're like, you know, it's not like this is out of left field. But I was like both, you know, white bald guys. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're both great actors. Like I'd buy it 100%.
absolutely. This is definitely a Stanley Tucci household.
Honestly,
yes,
if
Nolan,
Mark Strong
you
was
can-
just a little bit younger, I think he could play a really good James Bond, to be honest with you.
I'd
Especially
buy
after
it.
Well-
making Kingsman.
he
I'd
was
let
in
him
the
do it.
Kingsman, so yeah, like that tracks.
Honestly, him dying in Kingsman, heartbreaking.
I know.
Spoilers.
Dave, you know what my favorite bit about that part was? It's unfortunate that he died, but my favorite bit is that he goes out singing "Country Roads."
Country dude.
That's like one of the most heartbreaking versions. It's so good, and he's just like
Oh, yeah.
killing guys the entire time.
Right? Just
Uh,
fine.
Nolan, you can
apparently-
watch.
There was test
Nolan, you can
screenings
watch
where he
Stardust.
lives.
Sorry. Nick, where can I watch it?
There's test screenings. You can watch Stardust. For anybody listening, you can watch it for free on Pluto TV.
Or you
Pluto.
could probably find it on Netflix or something, like an adult.
Let's take a look.
This is I'm done. I'm not Googling shit for anybody anymore because I just fucking Googled it and yet I'm still being told like I'm wrong.
Who said you were wrong? I just said you could probably also get it on Netflix, because I don't know many people who have or use Pluto TV, whatever that is.
Unfortunately, it is not on Netflix. So
What is it on? Just Pluto?
I think it's just Pluto.
That's crazy.
It always comes on to Netflix at least once every few months, so it'll pop back on there sometime soon.
Yeah,
but
it's Pluto, Google Play, Fandango, Amazon Prime.
Oh, I
it's
have
on
Prime.
Amazon Prime.
But
And
you have
Apple.
to-
No,
you
you
have to
gotta
buy
buy
it.
it.
You gotta
But
buy
it's
it.
only
Never mind.
it's only like $3.99.
Maybe it's worth $3.99.
For $3.99, it's definitely worth $3.99.
But I know it's movies are generally better when they're free 99. So, you know,
Wouldn't that be 99 cents, Nolan?
No, it's free.
No,
$3.99.
it'd be free
It's free.
99.
free 99. I just
I
you
was
know,
you
trying to
not
give
hear-
him a
did you
hard
not hear-
time.
Did you not hear the free?
I'll give you a penny.
And honestly, it
That
might
wouldn't
be
be
one
free
of the.
then.
Oh, Patton Oswalt is even in that movie. I forgot that he was in there.
Yes, everybody's in this movie.
Yeah, Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais, I think's in it.
Patton Oswalt he's the guy that's the seller at the market with the lightning bolt.
That's
Lightning
right.
bolt.
I forgot
Lightning
about
bolt.
that.
Yep.
Nolan,
Dude,
lightning bolt.
Stardust is a sleeper of a movie. I wish more people knew about it. It is wild and it's pretty entertaining.
That's what I've heard is people said something about Stardust being like a hugely underrated like fantasy movie that no one ever watched for some reason.
Absolutely.
So I'll add that to the list of
All right.
things to
I'll
piece-
just say this
pick
last
up.
bit about it, and then you guys should all go watch it. The guy who wrote, because it's adapted off a Neil Gaiman book.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Neil
guy
Gaiman.
who wrote the script for it, one of the adapters of it, is Matthew Vaughn, who is the guy who wrote Kingsman movies, Kick Ass, stuff like that.
That makes sense.
X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
First Class was actually good. I actually liked
I
that
love
one.
First Class.
That was probably actually one of the better X-Men movies, if I'm being honest. Minus the whole Darwin bit.
That was a waste of a character. Absolutely.
1000% a waste of a character. Like, first of all, he's like C tier, but also Darwin is essentially unkillable. Like,
Yeah, he's a god tier
Wow.
character.
I didn't know that Matthew Vaughn wrote Rocket Man, the Elton John movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, interesting.
it makes
Yeah,
sense that
after,
Taron Egerton was in
season two,
all
they
of
just
those
were like,
movies.
let's do this.
Which I'm still in support of him being the new Wolverine.
Oh, 100%. Taron
I'd be-
Egerton could pull that off easily.
He'd be really good at that.
I think he'd be a pretty good Iceman, but that's just me.
If you're going off of the other movies, sure. He kind of looks like Sean Astin.
Well, not that he looks like Sean Astin. It's just like generally what Bobby looks like, but you know. Look, I just don't want you taking my Wolverine dreams away from me, David.
Sorry, man.
I am comic
Ever-
accurate sized, okay?
I hate to tell you this, but ever since they rejected you for being the next Doctor, that was the same audition for Wolverine. So you got X for both at the same time.
Damn it!
Turns out Nick is also going to be the next Wolverine.
Shit! such a bald Wolverine.
Nolan, just how would
come
you
at me,
feel?
bub.
How would you feel, Nolan, if you found out Nick literally was the next Wolverine?
Oh, I'd be so upset. I'd be so upset.
Nick, would you just grow out a monk ring and then just style it out Wolverine style?
Not even. They would do what they do with when they give you the toupees. They would like glue the shit onto his head and like shape it and just and then that's what he would get. Like that's how that would work. Plus, like he'd have to dye his beard. Go dye your beard.
All right, so
I could
Disney,
just
if you're
shave it.
listening,
But,
Would that be-
I
gentlemen,
was just saying,
it's
if
been about an
Disney's
hour.
listening.
Yeah, I think we're good, guys. So watch
Anything else to
Stardust.
add?
Definitely tune in next week for us breaking down episode 5.
Absolutely. We'll be here.
And if you want to see anything we're doing online, definitely check us out below and make sure you subscribe here to Society of Main Characters. We got some cool stuff coming up, including our next month literary conversation about Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. So you still got time to pick that up and read it before we, see, there it is right there. And we'll be diving into that early part of April. So till next week, we'll see you then.
Everybody at Marvel. You know what I mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.